White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present.
I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If he were to deport all illegal immigrants, if he were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider it, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian people?
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Hello guys, welcome back. I really hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. I really appreciate your love and support. Now, studies show that by the year 2045, the white Americans will become the minority statistically in the United States for the first time in history. The Latino community is now the fastest growing population in America, and this is fueled by high birth rates and of course immigration. Then we have the Black community, and then we have the Asians. This shift is more than just statistic. It's a story of growth, change, and deep tension. Because beneath these numbers lies a country that is transforming, and not everyone is happy with this transformation. Now, for some white Americans, the idea of becoming the minority is unsettling and feels threatening. Let's watch a few of these videos where some of the white Americans have expressed their emotions. Every clip and every stitch, credit belongs to the original creators of these videos. Stay tuned and let me know what you think on the comment section. I will be back with more commentary.
So when I tell you guys you're not ready for this, you're not ready for this. I mean, we've been saying for a while now that the right wing in this country is racist, that their biggest fear is white people becoming a minority. Now listen to one of their biggest leaders, Charlie Kirk, talk about this exact topic.
We're just going to outbreed these people. We are. I mean, we're going to have more babies. And 20 years from now, they're going to say, why is the country so right wing? Well, you were too busy having abortions and having gay sex. And we got married and had kids, and we will repopulate the species.
By the way,
I'm not kidding,
by the way, you can be left, right, center, logical, emotional. That is by far the most logical argument you just gave statistically that cannot be argued because it's proven. It's going to take 2 decades.
Give us some time, everybody. Buy us some time. Buy the Constitution some time.
The key, though, we got to have normal level of kids.
Well, yes, we got to get our testosterone rates high. Young ladies got to get married, and we have to have the babies. And by the way, I mean, the Bet David family, you guys are doing your part. Having children is not a left-wing value. The truth of the matter is this, is that if left-wing people keep on not having kids, whether it be by abortion or, you know, being in homosexual relationships, how exactly they think this thing is going to work.
So the fact that 3 grown men are sitting around talking about this, and one of them turns to them and says, what you just laid out is one of the most logical arguments that you could. And they're like, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense mathematically. If they keep having gay sex and they don't have babies, we're just going to outpopulate them. And then the entire country will be right wing. And by that, he means white. Believe me, He means white, because they're so afraid of this great replacement theory that they've conjured up. This is why they're so against Mexican people coming across the border, because they are brown. They're so afraid of becoming the minority, because then they won't be able to push their racist ideology. These people are absolutely insane. And don't think for a second that they're saying the quiet part out loud. They have been saying this for years. We've been pointing it out for years. Some of you just have not been listening, or you're ignoring it, or you're pretending that they're not saying it. But they have been saying it for years, and it is time that we actually do something about it. We can't allow these people to infiltrate our government, infiltrate our legislation, infiltrate our schools. We can't do it. We have to make sure we get to the polls and we vote these type of people out. Period.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and white conservatives are terrified of POC outnumbering us. And I truly believe this is the motivation behind a lot of hateful policies in the US. If you haven't heard of the Great Replacement Theory, it is that over time, if enough black and brown immigrants come to the US, as well as white people having children with POC, then over time, POC will outnumber white people. And the reason that this is so unsettling to a lot of white people, especially conservative white people, is that they are terrified that if POC become in power, then they will treat us like we've treated them in the past, which is obviously not great. It involves subjugation of people, enslavement, assault, violence of basically every kind. And I think that white people can feel the shift happening as they are becoming more and more outnumbered. And that is why they are clinging so tightly to power in Congress and with the president right now. And that's why it's so funny when white people deny that racism exists, because if they didn't think racism did exist, they wouldn't be scared of being outnumbered. But they understand the ways that we have treated people of color has been atrocious, and thus they are scared of the tables turning and of being in that position of subjugation.
As we move closer to 2045, one thing is certain, and that is change. And change is indeed inevitable. And as they all say, what goes around comes around. I believe this is exactly what is happening to the white community. The white people are afraid of losing power and dominance because they understand what they did to the minority groups and are scared of becoming one themselves. The fear of losing the majority status has become one of the most powerful undercurrents in the American politics, and you can hear it in the voices of those who fear that the country is slipping away. And I believe that this explains why the white people voted the way they did, because one of Trump's big agenda was to exercise the biggest mass deportation the United States has ever had. The white people did not have a problem voting for policies that they knew would affect them negatively. Because, for instance, we have already seen how mass deportation has affected the white people in the United States. For instance, the farmers. We can see how the white farmers have been affected by these mass deportations because their workers are being harassed and are being deported. Thus, the farms are left with no one to tend to them, and that means that the crops will rot in their farms, thus causing them the hard work and a lot of finances that they had invested in their farms. What about what happened in the Hyundai project? That project was supposed to create over 8,000 jobs for the citizens of Florida, but because of the deportation of the workers, that had to come to an end. All that shows how much the white people are willing to put up with, provided they do not lose their power. The minority groups have had seasons of oppression, segregation, racism, racial profiling, discrimination, amongst others. But despite all that, they have managed to beat all odds and are becoming great in everything they do. The white people, on the other hand, they do not know oppression. They do not know struggle. They are used to being handed things and are scared that all that might be taken away from them. What I have to say to the white people is that you do not have to worry about anything. You do not have to worry about anyone taking anything from you. You do not have to worry about anyone oppressing you. Because I myself have had a chance of listening to what the black people are saying, and what they're saying is that all they wanted was peace. All they wanted was equity. All they wanted was to be treated with respect. The black people do not intend on doing any revenge. They are okay with you. They are ready to live with you peacefully because that is all they ever wanted. peace, and they are finally gaining it. As we come to the conclusion of this discussion today, allow me to ask this question. What happens to a nation built on diversity when its power starts to shift? Is this the natural evolution of the multicultural society or the beginning of an identity crisis for America? Let me know what you think on the comment section. Thank you so much, guys, for watching up to this point. I really appreciate your love and support. If you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share. Until the next episode, bye.